Hello guys, welcome back to Watch Addiction Watch Reviews. Today we are going to be taking a look at the new AXIOS, which is actually a sister or brother brand of Zelos by Alshon and his team over there, which produce some really nice watches. Now Zelos produces kind of more funky styled watches, very different from the rest, but this is more of a standard diver with all those great components and quality of the Zelos watches. And this one is $399 US, coming to Kickstarter August 19th at 10 a.m. And I figured I'd take a look at it and show you guys the watch. Now, it's obviously a dive watch. It's actually a 500-meter dive watch, and I think this one really hits all the spots for me, at least. It's very well made. It feels very solid in hand. The overall construction and everything just feels really good, as well as some pretty crazy lume. Now, it's housed in a solid 316L steel 40mm case, so it's just that perfect dive watch. You know, in terms of size, 40mm. People love the Submariner. Now, before we go any further, I really don't think this is a homage of a Submariner or anything like that. I mean, if you look at a Submariner, which I have right beside me, this really doesn't look like it. It's kind of, you know, I could see where you can kind of a little bit from the case, you know. Obviously, it has, you know, similar markers in a way, but it's not really a homage watch or anything like that. That's in my honest opinion there. So I don't think anything like that. Now, in terms of the case thickness, we're looking at 13mm, which is really not that bad, considering this houses a Swiss-made automatic movement. In terms of lug-to-lug width, we get a relatively short 48mm, which fits my wrist really good, and this one definitely wears nice on the wrist. Now, some other stuff about this watch. There is a 3-micron thick protective coating on the steel on this watch, as well as the ceramic, making it extremely resilient to scratches in daily use. Now, most of you guys probably, you know, get scratches or, you know, hairline scratches all over your watch, but with this one, it's going to be a lot harder to do that, considering the hardness of the watch with the coating applied. I just wanted to let you guys know that. I think that's pretty cool that they did that. And I would consider it, you know, something like Seiko DiaShield or DiaShield, something like that nature that they did to this watch. The lug width is pretty standard at 20mm for this 40mm case. Now, heading to the dial, as you can see, we get this beautiful kind of sunburst blue shaded dial. Just plays with the light crazy. Really looks good, especially under this double domed sapphire crystal with inner anti-reflective coating. A lot of people really do appreciate the inner anti-reflective coating. It really helps keep legibility up top. In terms of the bezel action, this ceramic 120 click unidirectional bezel has 120 clicks and rotates pretty good. It's very tool-like, it's very firm, there's minimal back play. I will demonstrate that for you right now. Just very nice to use, very sturdy. Of course, over time it does loosen up a little bit. That's just due to the spring inside. But everything does come out, you know, perfectly lined up to that 12 o'clock position. You know, when you compare it to Seikos and stuff like that that have alignment issues, it kind of, you know, kind of looks bad when you have alignment issues. Good to know that there's no issues like that on this watch. Now, this is a 500-meter dive watch, so you can pretty much take this thing diving. We have a screw-down crown located at the 3 o'clock position with some nice crown guards. We also do have a screw-down case back with a nice logo on. I will show you that when we get to the case back. Now, a little more about the dial. There's a lot of lume on this watch, I must say. The lume is quite surprising. It's definitely a little brighter than Seiko Lumebright, in my opinion. It's very strong. It's C3 and it glows really bright, so there's definitely a lot of it on this watch. We do have that nice orange kind of dive themed, kind of vintagey like hand, I'd say, which matches the orange sweeping seconds hand, which does reach all the way out to the end of the dial, which I do appreciate. Definitely gives it a more professional look. Now, other than that, it's a pretty simple dial. We have automatic printed in white, 500 meters printed in red, very small as you can see there. But you can see, they say 500 meters. A nice thing that they did was the date window. They matched it to the dial. I'll make you a little closer here. So if we take a look at the date window over here, it does match the dial. I thought that was pretty cool that they did that. It's just some nice small details. Now, if you didn't notice, there is orange accents on the bezel. The bezel is actually loomed as well. I will show you that in the lume shot. And everything matches up. You know, you have the orange, you have the white, the blue, and the nice date window, which matches the dial and the bezel as well. Now, inside, powering the Ironclad by AXIOS is the Sellita SW200, basically the equivalent of the ETA 2824. It's a very good movement. I have a lot of experience with this movement. It features hand winding, hacking, a quick set date, And this watch is over at the 6 o'clock position. We do get 4 hertz, obviously 28,800 beats per hour, hacking, hand winding, all the goodies, and a 38-hour power reserve. And this one is running pretty accurate, about a plus 3.5 seconds per day. So you're looking at a very accurate watch and a very accurate movement, at least in my example right here today. But going from some other YouTubers that have had this watch in for review, theirs were pretty accurate as well. So it's no surprise to me. Now, to actually operate this movement, if you didn't know, we have the crown over here, so I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this crown. In first position, obviously, we can wind the watch, which is always relatively smooth with these SW200s. Now, our second position, we can quick set the date over at the 6 o'clock position. Nice and snappy, everything fits in the window just fine. And then our final position, we can hack and set the time here. Very legible dial, very easy to read at a glance. I've been wearing this watch all day, and it's been a pleasure. It's a very nice looking watch, especially in the sun. When the sun's out, this thing really shines. I'm going to go ahead and screw this crown back in, and let's take a look at the bracelet. So we get a dive/oyster style brushed bracelet. The links are rounded, so they're definitely comfortable on the wrist. I do like that. The fluidity is okay on these. They're pretty good. Now these screws, if I can show you here, it is using small screws, so there are no pins, so I always like that, of course. Very easy to adjust. Took me like literally 5 minutes to take out 2 links from this bracelet. Get a proper milled clasp, and it's a very nice one, I must say. The AXIOS logo here is cut out over here, and we get a safety as well. Just very sturdy, and a nice thing that they did, where the amount of micro adjustments, you have a lot of micro adjustments, so you don't have to worry about half links on this model. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 micro adjustments, which is way more than enough in my opinion. Just a very sturdy clasp. It feels good on the wrist, and I have no issues with it whatsoever. 2 buttons it opens up. Now heading over to the case back, if you can see here, you can see these solid end links included with this bracelet as well, and a nice raised, as you can see there, a little ship there, the Ironclad, AXIOS Ironclad SW200, and a little saying there, "Now comes the realm of iron." I think that's a pretty cool saying. The case back is screwed down, kind of that matte finish, but this ship here is raised, and it feels very nice. It's very detailed. I like how they detailed it. I think it looks good. It's very simple, keeps things easy, and I think it's just enough. Now for the fun part. Look at that lume. I mean, that's extremely bright. We have a lumed bezel here, all lumed markers, seconds hand, hour, and minutes hand. And it looks pretty good. It's very bright. It's C3. There's a lot of it on there, as you can tell. And it doesn't fade quickly. I will say, though, it is a bit brighter on the dial than the actual bezel. But either way, it looks really, really bright. And you should have no issue with the lume on this watch, guys. So there's the AXIOS Ironclad on my 6.5-inch wrist. It fits really nice. And if I didn't go over finishing, if you didn't tell, these sides are highly polished and the tops are finely brushed. And the finishing is always good. You can get a closer look at that right now. But overall, very comfortable bracelet. I like that they didn't use that ratchet extension. I think it's just fine this way with this clasp. Not many people are really going to actually go diving, I think, with this watch anyway. But many people will go swimming with it. You can get a glimpse of the coin-edged bezel there as well. No issues with the bracelet. I really happen to like this one, and this is definitely one of the better bracelets from... I've seen a lot of micro brands, but this watch really has it all for $400. I'm quite surprised, and definitely one of the better watches I have reviewed from, compared to, I would say, 200 or so different brands. This is definitely in the top 10. So, yeah, looks good on my wrist. My wrist is 6.5 inches. Fits perfectly across at 48 lug to lug. So there you have it, the AXIOS Ironclad. And this is their blue version. There are a couple different variations. There's a green one as well, which looks pretty cool. I believe they're also giving away one of their watches to one of their subscribers to the newsletter. If you check out the link in the description below, where you can put your email in and they will let you know about the launch. The launch is August 19th at 10 a.m. I think they'll do pretty well on Kickstarter with this model as usual. You have the trust of Zelos and their brand. They're a really pretty big brand. I don't know if I'd even call them a micro brand anymore. But definitely a very well made watch. It ticks all the boxes for me. We have great lume, a great Swiss made movement, great bezel action, decent finishing, a nice bracelet with a proper clasp and buckle. And hey, what more can you really want for $400? So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below as usual. I will see you guys on the next video. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks so much. Bye.